Hey guys, and welcome to /X Games. Today I'd like to go over file encryption, decryption. I did a quick search on Yo-Yo Games' GameMaker forum and I came up with UltraCrypt, and it claims to be the best file encryption for GM. It's a little dated, 2006, but I've tested it out and it looks alright, for basic file encryption, decryption. So let's check it out. So if you go to this site, I will make a link in the description. So you go there, then download UltraCrypt version 1.1, so that's that top link. And there'll be a zip file, unzip it, and you'll end up with something that has a control object like this. I've just cleaned this up a bit. But ultimately what it does is it says thanks for using UltraCrypt, blah 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 blah, and then it asks you to input either the file that you want to encrypt. Then you can either use a string as your key or another file. That's pretty interesting. So you encrypt it with another file if you want. Yeah, and then it encrypts it, and there you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an object. I'm going to call this object start. And then, okay, so that's temp. We're going to make a room. We're going to call this room. Room encrypt. And in this room, I'm going to put object start. Okay, let's check this. Okay, let's make it fit nicely, make it black. Alright, so that's done, and then I'm going to make another room here called room decrypt. Okay, so that's going to be pretty much the same. By 720. Okay, so for this tutorial, what I'm going to make it do is take in the user's name, and then I'm just going to give him a random value for points, and it's going to save that to an any file. Then it's going to encrypt that any file. Then it's going to go to the next room when you click next, and then in the next room it's going to decrypt that any file, gather the values, and then it's going to save those values locally to an object, and then it's going to decrypt. No, it's going to encrypt. Sorry, it's going to encrypt that any file again. So the user has no, the user never sees what's actually inside that any file until the decryption process. So we've got object start. So in object start, we're going to say create. We're going to add some code, and here we're going to say DLL initialize right there. Oh, before we go over this, let's go to the O control that what's this guy's name? Andrew MC has put together for the example. First, we initialize the DLL, which is the script. Yeah, it's just got the path of the DLL. Make sure it's in the same directory. Yeah. Okay, then it's got all the values. Okay, so we have to initialize it first, and then we use it after it's initialized. So, okay, so let's go back to where we were here. So we initialize the DLL. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make some things. When you say name equals get string, okay, and then here we're going to ask you a question. What is your name? Okay, and I'm going to set it to blank. Okay, so that's going to ask the user for his name, so type it in. Then we can say points equals 2600. Okay, so we've just randomly. That's whatever points there are. Okay, next here we're going to say show message. Okay, show message. And here we're just going to say it's creating profile 4. Okay, profile 4, and we say plus string and then name. Is that right? Oh, whoops. Okay. So when the first room loads, it's going to get the name from the person. It's going to randomly give them a points value, and then it's going to say, okay, we're now creating the profile 4, and then that name. Alright, so then once that's done, now here we're going to create the ini file. We're going to say ini open. Okay, and then here we're going to say, what is it? Profile.ini. That's just what we're going to be calling it. If you don't know how to use any files, check out my tutorial on any files before this. It'll help you out a lot. Okay, here we're going to say any write string, whoops, and we're going to say profile, that's our section, profile, heading, we're going to say name, and name. Okay, so we're going to write name to that any file. We're going to say any write real, write a real value here under profile again, and it's going to be, let's say, points. Okay, we're going to call it only points, so I'll make it all uppercase. And we're going to write the value of points, which is 2600. So that's going to write that. And then we're going to close the any. Okay. Okay. So we've prompted them for the name. Then right up here we prompted them. Then we've created an any file with that name here, profile.any, and then we've got the name there and the points, which we've got both bam and bam. Now we've closed the info. Now with the DLL, it's something like this: DLL encrypt. Okay, and then it's got path, passkey, 1 and 0. Okay, now if we go to the DLL encrypt script right here, and we do some reading here, argument 1, the encryption key. Argument 2, oh wait, argument 0, the full path of the file. So that's where the file is located. Argument 2 is the key. So if argument 2 is set to 1, then the key is any string. But if it's set to 2, then the key is a path of another file. For this tutorial, I'm just going to be showing you what happens if we encrypt it with a string. So we're going to be using 1. You can do some more reading, and then you can really get the full use of this if you want to encrypt it with other files and stuff like that. So for this tutorial, we're just going to be using the path, passkey, 1 for string, and 0 at the end. Okay, so now what we're going to say is we're going to say path equals, because the profile, it's making this in the actual directory we're working with, we can just say here profile.any, because it's going to be looking at the working directory. And then here, passkey. Passkey is your string that you're going to be encrypting it with. So in this case, we're going to say we have a string. This is the passkey string. I think that'll be alright. This is the passkey string. It can be anything as long as you decrypt it with the same passkey. Okay. I mean, you could even make this global. Hey, that could work. Global.passkey. Yeah, okay. This is the passkey string. Bang. Then now we're gonna do this. Here we say DLL encrypt. Okay. In the path, there it is. The passkey is there. 1 0. Okay. So now the file is encrypted. Now if we say okay, so it's done and done. Go to room encrypt. We've got, is that right? Object start. Very good. Okay, so if we run this, let's see what happens. We're going to watch it encrypted. So here in the directory, there is no profile yet. So we're going to run this. Okay, here we go. So it says here, what is your name? So I'm going to say Billy Bob. We say okay. Creating profile for Billy Bob. Okay. And oh right, whoops, we were supposed to say global.passkey. Whoops, up there. Right, because we made this global. Okay, go here. Okay, so here we have the ini file is just writing those values, but it hasn't encrypted it yet. So I'm just going to delete that and do it again, because we ran into that error. Yeah, that's fine. Forgot to do the global. Okay, let's run it again. Okay, so Billy Bob, we say okay, creating profile for Billy Bob, there we go. Alright, so now if we exit that and go into here, profile.any, if we double click on it, check that out, it's random characters. So a user checking this out, he'll be like, whoa, what is that? And you won't know what to change. So it has encrypted it. Now, what we're going to do next is I'm going to create another object here called object read, and what it's going to do is it's going to go in the decrypt room right here, and it's going to decrypt. So it's going to call the DLL encrypt script again, and it's going to decrypt that file, read the values, then encrypt it again. So it's never left unencrypted. Okay. So we're going to go to read right over here, and the cool thing about this DLL is you can just call it again, and then it does the opposite thing. So we have our create, and then here we're going to say, obviously, you know, initialize the DLL. Okay, and then once we've done that, here we're going to say path equals, and then what was it? It was profile dot ini. Okay, I think that was the path. Then, okay, the next we're going to have to get the passkey out. The passkey was, oh wait, we used global.passkey, so that's fine. We don't even have to do that again. Right, then we're going to say DLL encrypt, right? And here we've got path. Passkey was global.passkey. And then 1 and 0 again, exactly the same as we used to encrypt it. Okay, so that's going to decrypt it. Now, once the file is decrypted, we're going to ini open. We're going to open that up. Right, so what's this? Open that up. Okay. Once it's open, we're going to say, here we're going to say name and points. See, these are, name and points here are local variables to read and start. So it's not global, so it's not getting them that way. It's actually reading them again from that ini file. So, name equals ini read string profile section. That section was profile. Heading is name. Well, not that name. And then we have blank as default. So if it doesn't work, it'll display nothing. Points ini read real. Here we're going to say profile again. And I think it was points with a capital P. And 0 is our default. Alright, that looks all good. Then don't forget to close the ini. Always close your ini files after working with them. Okay, so what it's done here is we've initialized the DLL. We've checked the path, which is the same. Then we've encrypted. No, we decrypted it. Then we're reading from profile ini, and we're getting the name and the points value, storing them in name and points variables. And then once we've done that, we're going to encrypt the file again, because we don't want it to be left unencrypted. So here we call DLL encrypt. You can just call this exactly as it is again, and that should encrypt it. And then that's done. And then we're going to say here show message, and it's going to show you know, just what we've got in name and points, just to show that it's actually read from the decrypted file. So we're going to say hello plus string name. So we're going to get that name. Then we're going to say plus full stop. You have, and then it's going to have plus string points. Okay, plus points. Okay, I think that's good. Doop, doop, doop. Okay, so hello, string name, full stop. You have points. Okay. Done and done. Okay, so then there was also that button I need to make here. Let's check this object next. I give it a sprite object next, and when we click it, it's just going to go to the next room. Decrypt. Okay. Encrypt right there. Put that bam over there, and it's going to take us here. So let's make sure that each room has got. So the encrypt room has got. Let's make sure it's got object start. Yes. Decrypt has got object read. Let's save that. Make sure profile is deleted because we're doing it again. And we're going to run this. Let's see if this all works together. Okay, so name was Billy Bob. Okay, creating profile for Billy Bob. There we go. So now if we go into it, it should be encrypted. There we go, it's created the profile and it's encrypted it. Alright, now if we go next, hello Billy Bob, you have 2600 points. Okay, now if we go back into it, it's still encrypted, see that? So what it did was, made the profile, it put in name equals Billy Bob, points equals 2600. Then it encrypted it to this jumble of random characters. Then when we want to read it, we just decrypt it, grab the values, and then encrypt it again quickly. Easy as that. So, yes, special thanks to Andrew MC for UltraCrypt. Seems to be working. It is probably the first encryption DLL that I've worked with, so I guess for now it is the best file encryption for GM until I find a better one. Yeah, special thanks to you, Andrew MC. I don't know what other DLLs he's got, but check him out on Yo-Yo Games. Okay, so thanks for watching. If you like this video, comment, rate, and subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll be back next time for more.